Hey guys, it's your boy Wolf. We finally got the patch notes for 7.10 and 7.11. So I'm going to go over all the changes and tell you which changes I think are good, bad, affect the game in a positive and negative way, which changes are going to change the meta, what you're going to be picking, what the pros are going to be picking, or if it changes any of your items or actives. Before we go to the patch notes, I'd like to thank you guys very much for watching the videos. If you guys have been enjoying the content, don't forget to subscribe, like, hit that notification button, and drop a comment. I read every single one of them, even if I don't reply to it. And don't forget, you can also watch us on Twitch from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. 6 days a week. I'm always streaming. Also, it makes my day when you guys drop feedback, tell me how much you liked the video, how much it helped. If you guys have any ideas for future videos or how I could do this better, please do. Say it on Twitch, say it on Twitter, say it on YouTube, whatever it may be. I appreciate it. But we're going to get into the patch notes. Okay, so let's go straight into the 7.10 patch. It's not the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle patch, but it's okay. As usual, high-res art team is on point. Ares looks awesome. Ratatasker looks adorable. Soul still has some of the best skins in the game. Missed opportunity with the Street Shark skins, but it's awesome anyway and a cool Purge reference. Now it's time to get to the part of the patch notes that actually matter. So we have a Heartseeker change. Now, this is a little bit of a weird change. They're saying that assassins are bringing the most damage increase because tanks are buying health items over protection items now, since all the penetration nerfs and everything else that's been going on. And I don't really see it. In the SPL, assassins are usually the bottom damage of the entire team. Yes, in ranked, I see assassins being higher up, but that's mainly player error. So I don't know why this change is happening. Assassins don't like hitting the tanks in the first place. They want to hit the squishies. They spend very little time hitting tanks if they're good, except when it's against someone like Cthulhu, when you have to kill Cthulhu. And in that case, most of the characters want to buy things like kin size anyway. So this is a really weird change to me. It shouldn't really change how much damage you do to squishies. I mean, it does. They might live at 1 HP when they would have normally died. This just feels like a nerf that shouldn't be happening, and it feels like it's more directed towards characters like Sun Wukong getting Heartseeker rather than characters like assassins. This just doesn't make much sense to me. I think it's a bad change, and that's just how I feel. Or their reasoning for it is off. I think you're still gonna buy the item, so really no change there. Serrated Edge, they're saying that it's letting allowance to run down assassins to run down enemies of all types. I don't see many people buying Serrated Edge. This must be something that's happening in the lower brackets, or must be happening in casuals or arenas. I don't see it in my ranked games. This item is rarely ever picked up. I don't see it in competitive play except on a character like Erlang. So yeah, I would assume that they're lowering it to 7% to match the other move speed items that they moved from 10% to 7%. That's just what I'm trying to understand. This doesn't make much sense. You're still gonna buy it on the same characters, or you're not gonna buy it. Yeah, those two changes don't really make any sense to me, but they're not gonna change the way you play, so you can kind of just ignore them. So Loki's getting a change. His rework is a little weak. I don't really know where he should be getting changed, but I guess yes, this did seem like it did a really low damage when I tried it out. And I think this is weird. So like, they're trying to add a slow onto it, but it just feels weird because adding a slow feels like something you want to put on a warrior, but an assassin should want to move faster instead of trying to make someone else slower. This is kind of awkward. Yeah, it's probably going to be better. They're giving him damage, but I kind of wish they just gave him move speed. This doesn't seem like it's going to help him as much as they want him to. I'm assuming the idea is they want him to slow so they get stuck in the poison vision so he can combo, which is cool, but why not just add the slow to poison visions? It's just awkward to me. I get what they're trying to do. I don't really agree with it, but we'll see how it turns out. They might be smarter than me in this case. Sun Wukong nerf, get it. This is cool. I don't think this should be scaling that hard. The game is pretty different now. Sun Wukong is buying a lot of physical power. I do think if they're going to keep nerfing Somersault Cloud, they have to lower the cooldown because it's a really high cooldown. If they keep nerfing him, he's just going to get removed. So I like the scaling nerf because he is building physical power, especially in the solo lane. This is a good nerf. Let's move to the next god. So we got the Sun Wukong nerf. Now I think this is a good change. Sun Wukong's getting picked very often. He's building a lot of physical power and he's kind of being like a second assassin, doing so much damage. So I think the scaling nerf in this one scenario, the first time I've seen it happen in solo, and this is actually a good change. This is awesome. But if they keep nerfing him and they keep nerfing his damage, I would really highly suggest they bring back Sun Wukong's ult to a regular cooldown, because if they keep nerfing it, he's just going to fall out of the meta and never be played again. That's just my opinion on it. But yes, this is a very good nerf to stop him from doing the ridiculous stuff he's doing right now. Amaterasu also got a nerf. Great. This is exactly what I was saying is a problem for her. Her cooldown or her ult is too short. I don't even think her ult should go down to 75 seconds. I think it should just stay at 90. Bringing it to 75 just because you're maxing it is kind of weird, but I get why they would do it. They're trying to nerf her in the laning phase, and this should do that. This should make her weaker in the laning phase. Her having her ult up every 75 versus 90 means that every time your ult is up, you can fight the enemy before their ult is up, and that is a big difference in solo lane. So that's a good nerf. I like that. That's really good. Cupid nerf. Yeah. This is still silly. this is still silly. His clear might be a little too good for how good he is a boxer, but yeah, I think he's still going to be in the meta. This is just a small nerf. You might see a difference in how fast you clear the lane early and for the first couple levels. Eventually, you're just going to one-shot the wave anyway. Again, solid nerf. Not sure if it's the right way to nerf him or if it's enough, but yeah, it's a good place to hit him. So I'm okay with this. He's still going to have one of the best teamfight ults in the game. He's still going to have healing. He's still going to have a move speed increase. He's still really good. He's still a good character. Don't worry about it. I don't think this nerf changes much. I really don't think so. I think this is literally a placebo effect. I think they're trying to nerf Rama and hopefully people stop playing him as much just because they saw a nerf to him. I don't think it's going to be as big of a nerf as like they think it is, but whatever. Okay, this is kind of like a wasted patch note. I don't think it's going to change much. Hera, I'm a little scared of this change because Hera's real issue is how oppressive Argus feels, and Hera's negative is that the moment she falls behind and you can physically just kill her on cooldown, she just feels like a worthless character. She feels like a minion. So them nerfing the one thing that keeps her alive is kind of weird to me. I think adjusting either Argus or her damage somewhere would be a better idea. This is too volatile because if she can't survive an assassin diving her, she has no mobility. She just becomes like one of the worst mages in the game. I hope this doesn't make her worthless like she has been for a while, but yeah, I don't like it. It feels weird. I think they could have more finesse with this if they want to adjust her in a different way. That's just my opinion. We'll see how it turns out. So these changes are actually big, and how do I say it? I'm not sure if it's worth it. I know we're seeing a lot of people pick Hebo in the mid lane, and I think that's just because everybody wants to be Paul, and Paul is just amazing. I think Hebo is infinitely better as a jungler, but Paul isn't human when it comes to playing this character. These nerfs are actually pretty big. If you haven't noticed, when you jungle as Hebo, your water cannon you actually have a really slow clear in the beginning of the game. So this right here, this change is massive. This slows down Hebo's jungle clear to a point where you might even consider popping Hog on speed buff when you're playing Hebo 100% of the time. And if your solo lane decides to not hold blue buff for you, it can completely ruin Hebo's jungle clear. So this is kind of scary for players like me who like to play him in the jungle. It's gonna hurt him in middle too, but I don't really feel like he's a great middle. This right here is where they should be hitting him if they want to nerf him while keeping him viable. I think they might just want to take him out of the meta. This just seems like a let's take Hebo out of the meta put. Yeah, this is a big nerf. This is what allows him to do what he wants to do and play in team fights the way he wants to play in team fights. Remember, Hebo still has a really big negative. He has to be close range to do damage. That means he's in range for residual damage and CC that's meant for other targets he gets hit by. He can't just hit from safe distances away. So this is a big nerf. I think Hebo is one of those characters that on the slippery slope where just a small little buff will make the character completely broken, and just a small little nerf will make him completely worthless. So yeah, I'm a little worried about this. But we'll see how it turns out. Thanks, Paul. You nerfed Hebo. Kazembo change. I like this. This is annoying. He does way too much damage with his sumo slam being in the game, and it's either you get maximum efficiency or you feel completely useless because they beads it or you missed it. This is good. They should also maybe limit this to being lower damage in the beginning of the game and just increase it later, because holy, when this character goes off, he must snowball. And I know you guys don't see it in the SPL, but it must run rampant in ranked sometimes or in the lower brackets. He's still a good character, don't worry about it. We hate Thorns. This is actually a very good nerf to him. I think a big problem with Hercules is how much power he gets from his passive and how much his base damage is. The fact that he's being played as a support because of how much sustain and damage he does at the same time is a little over the top. I think he needs a more heavy-handed nerf. I don't know if this is going to make him balance. I doubt it. I think he's still going to be the top 2 supports in the game and the best ranked support in the game, because of how much he snowballs and how unkillable he feels. If this nerf is enough, this will actually change the support meta. So cool. There's very few changes in here that may affect the meta. So we got Hercules, we got Hebo change. Hera's not really meta, it's only Dardes. Congratulations, Dardes, you got a single character nerf. Not going to change anything, most likely not going to change anything. Solo lane meta is probably going to change based on the direction these changes are going to, with the item nerfs and the ult nerfs. You might see different characters in the solo lane. Yeah, overall I think this patch is alright. It's kind of seeming to shake things up for the sake of shaking things up. 7.10 doesn't seem like it's going to make anything too volatile. I just don't think these nerfs need to be here. I think these are just added on to be added on. Just my opinion. So yeah, that's 7.10. Let's move on to 7.11. All right, we're finally here. It's a 7.11 patch. It's the Ninja Turtle patch. I'm down. I'm kind of excited for this way more than Avatar because I grew up with this. I was watching this when I was a literal child, like 6 years old. Loved Ninja Turtles. Awesome. Personally like the realistic skins more than the cartoon skins, but that's whatever. Don't forget the Ninja Turtles are on the Battle Pass. Shredder and Splinter are on a chest. High-res skin team is awesome. We know this. And yes, Poseidon skins. I'm down. We know they're awesome. It just is what it is. You guys can tell. These are all fantastic. We finally got a Cthulhu skin. Set's a cool skin. Suddenly got 8 billion skins. Turnabout got 8 billion skins. Merlin finally got another good skin. We're good. We know how it is. Let's get to the stuff that matters. The stuff that you guys are watching this for, right? Yeah. Time for balance patches. All right. We don't care Don't care. Whatever. Early surrender rules. Yeah, that's right. Y'all getting this. This is big. All right. So anti-heal effects will now affect all forms of healing. It's about damn time. Good. Next. All right. Nobody cares. All right. Whatever. Cool bug fixes. I'm not gonna go through all these. We're just gonna go on potential. Alrighty. So this is a good change. These relics weren't supposed to stack in the first place, and now they're the block stacks were stacking. So it was correcting player error that shouldn't have been happening in the first place. I'm down. That's good. Stop giving starting items more protections. Tanks are already tanky enough as it is. Y'all just nerfed penetration. Why did you guys try to get rid of tank meta by nerfing protection and buffing penetration? And they're like, oh damn, there's too much damage in the game, so let's nerf penetration and buff protection. That's not what you're supposed to do. You're only supposed to nerf one, not nerf one and buff the other. You're just gonna make the gap bigger. This is already the best starting item in the game. It's just only one character can get it. So now we're gonna make it better. This also goes back to my other video when I'm like, it feels bad to sell evolved items, please. Turning into fused items. I don't know, maybe in the future. I don't like this. This is a good change because it's not better than Rada Tahuti, so they have to make it cheaper for it to be as good as Rada Tahuti. I completely agree. This is awesome. This is a good item for some characters, but you just can't justify buying it for the cost. I'm down. Nox changes. Don't ever vote Doomcan again. I hate you, Glick. We hate Nox changes. Just let her stay bad and ruin arena games. This actually might be a change that might make her good. I'm kind of scared of it. I'm gonna be completely honest. This is actually this is a scary change. She's not a fun character to play against. You might have to look into and see if she might be a problem. I don't know where she'll be played. I still think that Nox is a better support and a better solo lane than she is a mid lane. Hi-Rez, if anyone from you guys is watching this, please think of the idea of making her a support or a solo lane instead of making her a mage. You're going to create a character that does too much damage and be oppressive, while her main job is to literally pop actives and peel. That sounds like a frontline. That sounds like a guardian or a warrior. I'm just saying, maybe you might need to change the way she's thought about, and then you can finally make her balanced without breaking the game. This is a very scary change. She can easily become one of the characters that just completely destroys middle. She's very oppressive. Look out for her. It might change the meta. Athena change. I don't think this is going to change much, but that's cool. I'm down. Give her a basic cleave on her last auto attack chain. That's fine. I don't see like this is going to be something crazy. It might make her better in solo lane. That's awesome. Whatever. Let's see how it turns out. I'm a little scared because she has a global ult. Global ult metas are never fun, but we'll see how it turns out. We did this before, and we know what happens when you give him magic power and base stats and all the other nonsense. He just one-shots you earlier and literally forces the meta around him because he's a guardian with burst damage as a main effect that has good initiation, good peel. This is a scary change. This is a scary change, and without knowing it, this is a nerf to all healers, because guess what? It's not that anti-heal is the nerf to healers. It's just you blow them up before they can do anything. You have to all in them. Who all ins better than Bacchus? And he has anti-heal on top of it. They just really hate Paul's characters, don't they? But yes, this is definitely going to make him better. If this is what they wanted to do to increase his pick rate, which is what I'm assuming. Again, I don't want to read the developer patch notes because I don't always agree with them. And it doesn't make any sense to me most of the time. But I'm pretty sure they just want to bring him back into the meta, which fine. I think they could have done a different way in doing it, but fine. He should be really good. This should make him a much stronger pick. I don't know if it's going to change your level path. It's not going to change your build. If you liked playing Bacchus, well, you can probably play him again. These Bologna changes aren't really going to change much. I think the character has just been power creeped. There just seems to be characters that do what she does better. I don't know about you guys, but I never ran out of mana on Bologna. I never had mana issues on her. I kind of feel like I have too much mana on Bologna. I don't think this change is really gonna do anything. Yeah. You gotta go back to the drawing board for this one. And as a person who likes Bologna, I love this character. She's actually one of my favorite warriors by far, but I don't think she's really good right now. They might need to go back to the drawing board for this one. All right, so let's get into the chalk changes, right? So I don't really like these changes. They're kind of boring. They don't really do anything that changes gameplay or change the fact that he does anything late game. He's kind of just a meat wall. And now that anti-heal is going to be even stronger, it's going to make him even worse. So you have 2 extra seconds on your protection buff. So you get 2 stacks per god hit. Okay. That doesn't do anything for him. Give him a gameplay change. He needs a change like Ymir. He needs a change where like either he can recall his axe so he doesn't have to spin on top of it, or maybe he can walk over his axe and pick it up to have a shorter cooldown. He needs some sort of gameplay change because he's just been power creeped out of existence. Mulan is literally a better chalk. Most of the other characters are just a better chalk. They do as much damage as he does, they have as much sustain as he does, and they're just better at everything that he does. He needs a change. Either he needs a rework or he needs some sort of like change that Ymir got. Please. This isn't really going to do anything for him. He's still going to be bad. He might be good in the other game modes, but he's not going to be good in Conquest. I like this change and I don't like this change at the same time. They're buffing Dodgy early game, which makes me better because I play Dodgy a ton. Yeah, I don't know why they're trying to keep her late game damage the same. Whatever, I guess. Cool. It's technically a buff. Her late game stays the same, but her early game is better. I don't really think she needs it. I think she's good. I just think she's not getting played because nobody's playing on an SPL. I think she's one of the better junglers. Guess what? She's really good against Hebo, but nobody knows it because nobody's playing it in the SPL. Yeah. But, okay, we take those. Okay, so I can't say the next god's name because of YouTube, so we're going to skip right over it. But the I god, yeah, screw her changes. It doesn't really do much. Kudos. She might be able to clear the wave earlier. That's fine. Jormungandr, this is actually a pretty good change. It's probably going to be annoying, but he fell out of the meta, I guess. This isn't really going to bring him back in the meta. The whole reason why Jormungandr isn't picked anymore is because he's a free kill for Poseidon jungle, and then Poseidon jungle gets 2 fed and you instantly lose the game. So that's why he fell off. Yeah. I don't know if this is going to make him get picked more. It might in regular games, but okay. That's cool. Medusa change. They really want Medusa to be meta right now. They've been buffing her a lot. She's still a good character. I don't know if she really matches up to the other carries right now. This might be enough to make her as good as the other carries. We'll see. So look out for Medusa being the new hot hunter pick that gets picked every game. It's about time. I don't think this ult was good enough to be a longer cooldown than regular ults. Cool. It's about time. She might be better. She's still ridiculously good right now against mate like squishies in the soul lane, and she even has a weird place in the support role to really snowball really hard. She's kind of seen as the lesser version of Hercules in the fact that she does a lot of damage too. We might see this increase her pick rate a bit. We don't know. We'll find out. Neath changes, cool. About time. This is cool. Yes, her backflip felt like it cost way too much mana. 110 mana for way too much. Okay, this is good. I like this. Odin changes. This is actually good. This will affect his jungle. This will affect his support without buffing his ult. I'm down. Cool. I don't know what they were thinking with this Terra buff. Terra is such a good character. She's the Amaterasu of support. The only reason she's not getting picked as much is because she has a bad early clear, and you can lose an entire game off your early clear. This might make her the new Amaterasu. You might even see her in solo lane because of this. This buff is massive. She basically has Sylvanas level clear with an incredible kit. I don't know. Be on the lookout, because this character is going to throw a huge wrench in the entire meta. Wow. I guess they're trying to make people as good as Yamoja or something. I don't know, but okay. Huge buff to Vulcan. Huge buff to Vulcan. This is making his ult easier to land because it's going to do 75% damage instead of 60% damage. This is scary because Vulcan's not a bad character. His only negative is his ult. So having this is definitely going to shake up the meta. He's going to be a good character from middle, and as a hunter, this is scary. Snoopy, it's your time to come back. It's literally your time. This is you. This is all you, and all you middle lanes who like to play Vulcan. This seems like an extreme Paul character stuff too. We're just gonna see how it turns out, but yeah, this is kind of scary. And then we have a Xbalanque change. This is around the change that like nerfed him really hard before. I'm kind of scared for this because this might just make Rising Jaguar the next skill you level. We're gonna see. I hate going against Xbalanque ult, so when they make him good, it's kind of like really anti-fun. So look out for Xbalanque. He might be the new hunter, also like Medusa. The other two hunters did get nerfed. We'll see. We don't know. I can't tell you 100%, but this is definitely scary because the power scaling also scales with the damage that you hit them with the darts. It does increase this too, if I'm not mistaken, because the dart damage is after your damage is applied. So I'm pretty sure it takes the power scaling into effect and then applies it. I could be wrong. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. So this is a lot higher than what it seems like. Look out for Xbalanque. Zhong Kui buffs. We like Zhong Kui. We do play some Zonger Donger from time to time, but he's also a very scary character to buff. He's also a slippery slope where he can just literally become the meta just off of a single buff. So he's another character to look for that might change the entire meta. I've seen him in middle. I've seen him in solo. There's been some crazy people that play him in support. Don't play him in support. Please don't. Just let somebody else play him. He's a really good character, especially some of the characters that do counter him aren't really good right now, which are like Bakasura and Nemesis. Well, Nemesis is really good right now, but her ult isn't really as good against high protection targets as it used to be because it takes away less percentage of your protections. But Bakasura still eats him up until he gets shell, and then Bakasura cries in a corner like a little baby. Just, it is what it is. Look out for Zhong. You'll see him go brrr in a team fight and blowing everybody up again. Yeah. And that's it. Those are the patch notes. I hope that's got the message across. I think the meta is going to change pretty drastically. I told you how I think it's going to change. If you guys agree with me, tell me in the comments. If you disagree with me, tell me in the comments. If you have any opinions or feedback on how I can make these patch reviews better, please let me know. Feel free to stop by the stream to tell me also. You guys have a good one. Deuces.